Pro Football Focus says the Denver Broncos have the worst group in the NFL at this position. So, bringing in this article here from John Costco of PFF, it names the strongest and weakest position groups after free agency and the 2024 NFL Draft. And not surprising if you guys have seen this channel, we come down here to the tight end room, and the strongest unit in the NFL is named as the San Francisco 49ers. Not much of a surprise there. The weakest is named as the Denver Broncos. Costco says a room that features Adam Troutman as the top tight end is concerning. His 53.2 PFF grade in 2023 ranked 57th out of 72 eligible players as he caught just 22 passes for 204 yards in 2023. The Broncos didn't add a tight end in the draft, nor did they make a move for one in free agency. Rookie quarterback Bo Nix will likely target the position very little in 2024. If you guys have watched this channel at all, I have literally said this exact same thing. The Denver Broncos easily have the worst tight end room in the NFL. There are only two teams out there that I feel like can give them some competition, and that is the Washington Commanders, and that is the Carolina Panthers. But even then, I feel like both of those teams at least have a clear-cut tight end one. Denver does not have a clear-cut tight end one, bringing in their depth chart at the tight end position, courtesy of Ourlads. People tend to forget this in Broncos country, but Greg Dulcich was not named the starting tight end heading into last season. It was Adam Troutman. Dulcich, in week 1, the only game that he played for the Denver Broncos last year, was utilized almost in a big slot receiver role. That was also the role that he was utilized in training camp in the preseason leading up to last year. Greg Dulcich was barely utilized at all as a true inline tight end. That was Adam Troutman, and he was absolutely terrible in that role last year. Dulcich, anything that the Denver Broncos get out of him production-wise in 2024 is house money because of his history with these injuries. I'm worried about what his development and his growth is going to be headed into year 3 because this is almost like a rookie season for Greg Dulcich in a sense. Yeah, he played more in 2022 than he did in 2023, but he's got no reps virtually in this Sean Payton offense. I'm very concerned about what we're going to get out of Greg Dulcich. The Denver Broncos simply cannot depend on him to bring a consistent level of production. If he does, that's awesome, but that is house money. The Broncos simply cannot depend on that. Now, with Lucas Kroll, he's a very intriguing player, but I have a couple of issues with Lucas Kroll. The first one being he's a pure receiving tight end that's going to offer you virtually nothing as a blocker. He's almost like Greg Dulcich 2.0 in that sense. The other issue is I feel like fans and the media are assuming that Lucas Kroll, a former undrafted free agent, is going to develop into a starting caliber player. We can all hope that that's going to happen, and we can project it, but at the end of the day, we don't really know that if that's going to be the case. Lucas Kroll is very much a wild card in this Broncos tight end room, and we just don't know what he's going to develop into. We can hope and we can project, but we really don't know. Nate Atkins isn't really a true tight end. He's more of a fullback, H-back type of player, somebody who's really more of a backup to Mike Burton at the fullback position. And then we have a couple of unknowns in UDFA's Thomas Yasmin and Dylan Leonard, but we don't know what they're going to develop into. Again, they're very much unknowns. It's just like Lucas Kroll. They can develop, but we can't really depend on them developing into a starting caliber tight end. At the end of the day, the Denver Broncos, without a doubt, have the worst tight end room in the NFL. I pounded the table in a previous video about 2 weeks ago for the Denver Broncos to sign Logan Thomas as a free agent. I still think that they should do that. One of the reasons why I've gotten labeled a little bit as a Troy Franklin hater is because my biggest issue with trading up to get Franklin at the top of the 4th round is you gave up your first pick in the 5th round that you had. And that was a draft pick that you could have utilized to address the tight end position. That was around the point, the end of the 4th round, beginning of the 5th round, where we saw a big run on tight ends in the draft. The Broncos could have come away with a starting caliber player had they not traded up to get Troy Franklin, who I don't view as a starter for the Denver Broncos in the short term. Maybe 2-3 years down the line, but I don't think Troy Franklin's going to make the immediate impact that a tight end would have in his rookie season. That was my biggest issue with trading up to get Troy Franklin. So, I'm curious, Broncos country, would you agree with PFF and myself? Do you feel like Denver has the worst tight end room in the NFL? If not, name me a worse one. I'm dead serious because I don't think that you really can unless you want to maybe make the argument for Carolina or Washington. But even then, both of those guys have a clear-cut starting tight end in that room. Denver does not right now, and that's the most frustrating part to me. All right, Broncos country, please be sure to leave a like on this video as well as subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it. Those are 2 free and easy ways to show your support. It helps tell YouTube's algorithm to push us out, and it helps us get seen by more and more members of Broncos country just like you and me. And until next time, guys, I'm your host, Gage Madrid, saying peace out.